Hi there, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. I hope everybody is staying safe and well in these kind of difficult times that we're going through at the moment. So today's video is going to be all about the best crypto interest account available. Now I'm comparing the three different platforms. I realize there are more platforms available, stuff like Nexo, which is stablecoins only, Credon, which if you are using the Brave browser and withdrawing your BAT to the Uphold wallet, you'll know it's tied into that Credon. So I may be looking at some of these additional platforms in months to come, but for now I'm going to go over and compare what I consider to be the three sort of largest and probably most well known of the crypto interest accounts, and that's BlockFi, Celsius Network and Cryptocom. Now before we start, obviously this is not financial advice, however, having said that, I have used all these platforms. I've been using these platforms for either just over or just under 6 months depending on the kind of platform, so I have used them extensively. I've got different types of loans out on all these different kind of platforms, and I've utilized a few of the additional kind of features and services available. So hopefully I'm reasonably kind of well versed in the kind of different platforms, what they do well and what they don't do so well. So this can be a comparison between the three of them. Now we're going to be looking at different sort of comparison factors, so interest rates, compounding, the number of coins available and the different coins available, the platform supported, ease of use, ecosystem requirements, security and other features. And I should start really, I suppose, by talking very briefly about security. Now I don't have the technical expertise or the financial expertise to be able to kind of really and fairly kind of analyze and compare the security procedures that each of these different providers perform and kind of carry out. Now the only thing I would say is that if you are giving your crypto to someone else, it doesn't matter how much you trust the company, how much you think they're a fantastic kind of company. If you give your crypto to someone else to hold, you are putting yourself at risk to a certain extent. There's no way around that currently with these kind of products. You have to kind of pick a provider that you're kind of happy with, and then you sort of take the risk really. Now the one things I will say is that BlockFi, I think particularly BlockFi and Celsius Network, regularly do YouTube interviews. They have put their kind of security and kind of compliance offers up for kind of interviews. They've done lots of stuff along that. It's all available on YouTube. If you follow BlockFi and the Celsius kind of channel, you'll be able to see them. They've even been on the same kind of show. So the kind of leads, or kind of like, you know, the guys that run BlockFi and also Celsius Network have debated the differences in kind of DeFi and various bits and bobs online. Now that's not something that can be said of Crypto.com. They do put out marketing information, but they are, I think, worse than the other two kind of platforms at being transparent. I think that kind of goes back from all the way of when they were kind of producing kind of debit cards, and people would be asking them when they were available, and you know they would be, you know, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, you know, next quarter, quarter two, quarter three, etc., etc. Now I'm not saying that their security is inherently any worse than the other two platforms. All I'm saying is that I feel personally as an end user that they are slightly less transparent. Having said that, all of the kind of products are they're companies that I'm kind of happy to put some crypto in. I wouldn't obviously put all my kind of crypto, I wouldn't put my eggs in one basket, and I wouldn't put all my crypto, you know, spread between the three different kind of platforms. But within my kind of risk portfolio, within the crypto that I own, I am happy to kind of loan some out in order to earn those kind of interest rates. So security is something that is of paramount kind of importance if you're ever going to kind of put your money into one of these kind of companies. So it's something you should do your own research. So buyer beware, obviously. This isn't financial advice, just my own opinions. So let's jump on to the comparisons between the different kind of platforms. So we're going to start with interest rates, and I've split this into two different rows here. So we've got standard rates and max rates. So standard rates is kind of what you can be expected to earn without having to kind of like jump through hoops or do anything particular. You'll see some of these figures have asterisks next to them, and I'll explain those as we go through. But before we jump through and I talk you through these, I just want to make you aware that you can actually find this information on the platforms of these different companies. So this is BlockFi. You can see their current interest rates here. So you can see Bitcoin is split into 2 tiers. So the first 5 Bitcoin you earn 6%, over 5 Bitcoin 3.2%. Now Ethereum used to be split into tiers. They removed the tiers about a month or so ago. So Ethereum 4.5%, Litecoin 3.8%, and then the stable coins 8.6%. This is currently what you'll get on BlockFi. You'll notice here that there's no USDT. So there's USDC, Gemini USD, and PAX. 8.6% on all stable coins. It tends to be the same for each of the different kind of platforms, that all their stable coins are paid out exactly the same. The same information is available on Celsius network. They have a calculator here, an interest calculator, but if you scroll down the page, they have the interest rates, current interest rates. Now you'll notice that some of these have 2 different rates. The rates in dark blue are what you would earn if you're earning in the same currency. So for example, Ethereum pays out 3.82% if you earn your interest in Ethereum, 7.27% if you choose to earn in Celsius token. Same for Bitcoin here, 4.03 if you earn in Bitcoin, it's 7.27 if you earn in Celsius. But there are limits to the amount that you can earn in Celsius. So you can see here, you only earn up to 7.27 on the first 100 Ethereum, and on Bitcoin only on the first Bitcoin. So you can earn up to those rates. You'll see here the stable coins, again similar to BlockFi, all earning the same amount, which is just over 8% or 11% on a Celsius token. Now Crypto.com, I feel a little bit less transparent, a little bit the same as a kind of security, in that they have like a sort of a comparison kind of chart here, but it just says what you will be able to kind of earn up to. So this is by default, they have the 500 or more MCO stake. For most people it will be 50 or less, and it just says supported coins up to 6%. Now that's not as transparent as I think they should be, and in fact if you drill down into their FAQs and the help section, you can actually find a page here, and I'll link these below, where it has all the current kind of rates. So this was last updated about a week or so ago. I believe these are the current rates. So the rates that I'm quoting in this video are all correct as of week beginning the 11th of May 2020. But you can see here, slightly different to the other two platforms, is that Crypto.com, they have a flexible loan, which is pretty much how the other ones work, but then they have 1 month fixed term and 3 month fix, and in order to get the decent rates you really need to be in the 3 month fix. They also have different amounts according to whether you have no MCO token, or 50 or less than 500, that should really say, or if you have 500 or more staked, you earn these additional kind of amounts. So if we look at Bitcoin, you can see on a flexible term with no staked, only 1.5%. If you're willing to lock it up for 3 months, 4.5%, or 6.5% with 500 MCO or more staked. There are some ways to get a little bit more. This is one of the features they have. It's called Crypto.com Private. I'll talk about this a little bit more later on. But you have to, I think it's a minimum of 5,000 MCO locked up with this, and you can earn an additional 2%. But if we jump back to our comparison, you can see here for the standard rates, as I said, there's an asterisk here. So for BlockFi, this is up to the first 5 Bitcoin over there, 3.2%, and the asterisk here. So I've taken the rates from the 3 month lockup. Now some people might say it's unfair to compare a 3 month fixed term compared to these, which are flexible, and Crypto.com do have a flexible one. But the only thing I would say is that if you are putting your crypto into one of these kind of platforms, it's not really something you should be transferring your Bitcoin in and then taking it out the next week and then transferring it back, taking it out the next week. These should really be sort of looked at, I suppose, as kind of like long-term high interest accounts. So that's kind of how I look at these. So if we look at the standard rates, I just put down Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then a stable coin, so USDC for BlockFi, USDT for the other two. So Bitcoin 6% for BlockFi, just over 4%, 4.03 for Celsius, and 4.5% for Crypto.com. So you're looking at here BlockFi way ahead of the others to Ethereum a little bit closer, 4.5 for BlockFi, 3.82 for Celsius, and 4 for Crypto.com. But it turns around a little bit with the stablecoins. So 8.6, 8.05, so very similar, but 10% stablecoins on Crypto.com. So Crypto.com just edges that. And then if you look at these max rates, they're exactly the same for BlockFi. There are no incentives for BlockFi. There's no buy-in tokens to earn higher rates or anything like that. Celsius have higher rates within the ideal situation, 7.27, but you have to be paid out in Celsius token. if you wanted Bitcoin, you would have to then sell that back for Bitcoin, and that's only for the first Bitcoin. Crypto.com, you can get up to 6.5% with 500 MCO staked. As I said, you could get up to 8.5% if you stake 5,000 MCO, but that is a very, very large, substantial kind of holding of that. Same with Ethereum, exactly the same rates for BlockFi. You can earn 7.27 on your first 100 Ethereum on Celsius, at 5% on Crypto.com if you stake 500 MCO tokens. And on the stablecoins, 12%. Crypto.com just edges this, just ahead of Celsius, which is 11.02. Again, if you get paid out in Celsius token, 8.6 for BlockFi. So I just wanted to compare, what most people will be getting, along with what the maximum really you could be getting if you're willing to kind of tie yourself into the ecosystem, or go through the additional hoops of being paid out in their own token and then trading them. And then I want to move on to compounding now. So this is something that's extremely important. If you compound, ideally daily, but over any kind of period of time, basically what it means is that the interest from your loan gets added onto the collateral of the loan for the next month. So if you start with 1 Bitcoin and say you earn 0.05 a Bitcoin the first month, then the following month you don't just get interest on your 1 Bitcoin, you get interest on 1.005, and then that compounds up over time. So over time it increases sort of exponentially at a very slow rate, but it certainly kind of compounds up. So BlockFi, they have automatic compounding, but it's on a monthly basis. Celsius are the best. They automatically compound on a weekly basis. Crypto.com, the worst by a long way. They don't offer any kind of compounding, simple interest only. So it's daily interest, it's worked out, but it's simple interest only. You can sort of compound yourself by basically tying up for whatever period, so say 3 months here, and then taking your kind of profits and then reinvesting that in your next loan, so adding your interest onto the next loan. So technically you can compound on a monthly or 3 monthly basis, but it's manual and you have to kind of do it yourself. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the number of coins. BlockFi, by far the fewest coins, so they only offer Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and 3 stable coins. Celsius Network, 23 different coins including stable coins. Crypto.com just edging that, 25 coins including stable coins. If you jump back to those pages I just showed you, it does show you all the different kind of coins that the different platforms hold. So if you've got Bitcoin, any of the platforms, or Ethereum or Litecoin, any of the platforms would be available for you. If you, for example, held Tether, you can't use BlockFi. You have to use Celsius or Crypto.com. If you wanted to stake your Stellar or EOS or something like that, you couldn't do it on BlockFi. You'd have to look at Celsius or Crypto.com. The next thing I want to talk about is the platforms. So what platforms are available on? Now this has changed since I started doing the prep for this video a few weeks ago. In the BlockFi last week, or possibly about 10 days ago, launched their mobile app. Before that it was desktop only, but they now have a mobile app and a desktop website where you can perform all your kind of functions. I really like a desktop site. That's only my personal preference, because I spend a lot of time online. My day job is an online kind of based thing, so I have a machine with a decent monitor and stuff, so I like a desktop kind of site, but many people like mobile sites. Celsius Network only available on mobile, a mobile app for iOS or Android, and Crypto.com is again a mobile app for iOS or Android, except they have an exchange, and the exchange is exclusively available on desktop, or it's web-based, so you could open it up on the website on your mobile phone, but not within an app. So depending what you want, everybody now offers mobile functionality. If you wanted desktop functionality, you would have to go for BlockFi, with the exception of Crypto.com, just the exchange being on the desktop. And then ease of use. I've put excellent for BlockFi, excellent for Celsius, and good for Crypto.com. This is subjective to a certain extent. You'd have to use the kind of platforms. What I find intuitive and easy to use, you may not. And they're all pretty decent kind of platforms. They're all offer what you want. And once you've used them maybe once or twice or a few times, you'll get used to finding where you want everything. And it will be pretty easy to use. None of them are awful. The only reason I put good for Crypto.com is that they have an awful lot more functionality within their kind of app. BlockFi and Celsius Network are largely just interest accounts or crypto loans. They do offer one or two additional kind of services, but they're largely those two services. So it's very easy to be quite straightforward with what you can have in your kind of app or your website. Crypto.com, because of the additional functions they have, it's a little bit more complex, a little bit more cluttered. So that's why I've said good, but none of them are head and shoulders above the others. Certainly none of them are so bad that I would recommend sort of avoiding that platform. And then we have a look at the ecosystem requirements. So when I talk about ecosystem requirements, I'm talking about whether you have to go above and beyond, whether you have to do anything in order to get decent rates or a decent functionality out of the system. Now, what I really love about BlockFi is that there's no requirements. You don't have to buy their own token. They don't have their own token. You don't have to get paid out in their own kind of token. You deposit your Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever. You get paid out in that or whatever currency you kind of choose. There are no requirements. There are no kind of tie-ups. You don't have to put money into something up front or get paid in something that you don't necessarily want in the long term. So no requirements. By far the best platform from that point of view. Celsius Network. You don't have to put anything kind of up front to get the kind of best rates, but in order to get those best rates, you do need to be paid out in their own token, which is CEL. So this is a Celsius token. So for the best rates, you need to be paid out in the Celsius token. You don't have to be paid out in Celsius. You can choose to be paid out in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, but you won't get those additional kind of max rates. So there are some requirements, no upfront costs or anything like that, but there are some additional requirements. Crypto.com, I think, is possibly the worst because in order to get the decent rates, you really need to hold 500 MCO. As I mentioned, you can hold 5,000 or 50,000 MCO to get into the private club to get an extra 2%, but for most people that's not going to be feasible. But 500 MCO is possibly doable, particularly if you want those kind of extra rates and you have a fair amount of crypto to deposit. It would currently cost you around $2,750, but obviously you would continue to kind of hold those tokens, and you can stake those tokens and earn on those tokens as well. Over the last 2 years, I've had 50 MCO tokens, which I initially staked for the debit card, and they've gone up about 15% in 2 years. It's not it depends exactly when you kind of bought the tokens. When I actually bought them, not that different. This was sort of June 2018 to actually Bitcoin's rise over that period with the kind of pullback and then the subsequent rise. So it hasn't been an awful investment or anything like that. They haven't gone to zero like a lot of kind of altcoins or anything. But in order to get those better rates, you have to put that initial investment in place if you want the higher rates, which is currently around $2,750. So I think you'd have to mark them down a little bit for that. And then coming to other features, BlockFi offer loans and trading functionality. It's not a full function exchange or anything like that, but it does allow you to exchange coins into stable coins and back again, or one coin to another. So for example, I say we had a bull run next year. If we were getting towards what you thought was the top and you wanted to cash out some of your BTC to Tether, not to Tether, to USDC or Gemini dollar or whatever, you can do that within the app or the website. You can do a simple kind of like conversion and convert your BTC to stablecoins or back again. Celsius Network have something called CellPain, so they again offer loans. So these are crypto loans. Both BlockFi, Celsius and Crypto.com offer these. So that's where you can actually get a stable coin, a US dollar, based on your kind of crypto. So you could put your crypto up as collateral and actually take a US dollar loan or US dollar equivalent kind of loan from them. Celsius have something called CellPay, so if you want to send people crypto, you can do it if they're a member, or you can send it via a text message and various other things. So that's a little bit of functionality that you might be interested in. But Crypto.com have by far the most functionality. They offer the interest accounts. They also offer loans like the others. They have a full kind of exchange that also has their CRO and MCO tokens as kind of base pairs. They offer debit cards. I've received now my crypto debit card, so they're on track in most countries. So it started in Singapore, then Australia, the US. They're available in the UK. Most people in not just Germany but in the EU are still waiting for their cards. Then they have Crypto.com Pay. They have some tracking functionality within their app where you can track and get alerts for different cryptocurrencies. They have rewards. You can buy store cards or store credits with crypto, and then they have this private function which works very much like a private kind of bank account, where if you're a high net worth individual, in this case if you own 5,000 MCO or more, you can sign up to this private service and you get additional functionality. So you get additional interest rates, they give you some market analysis and various bits and pieces like that. There is information on that page that will be linked below about that. So then what I've tried to do is take all these kind of like what's good and bad about the different ones and put it into a quantitative format. So what I've done is I've given what I consider the best within each category a 10, and then the other ones are marks down from that kind of 10. So it could be as low as kind of 1. It's not in any cases as low as that, but the best in each category gets 10, and then a reduction on that according to how I feel they do. So when you see within standard rates, I've given BlockFi 10, I've given Celsius Network 6, Cryptocom 7. For the max rates, I've given Celsius Network 10. Now this will vary according to how many coins. If you up to a Bitcoin or up to 100 Ethereum, Celsius would be good. If you wanted more than that, one of the others might be better, but this is for what I consider the majority of people. So I've given Celsius a 10, Crypto.com a 9, and BlockFi an 8. In terms of the number of coins, Crypto.com just edges out Celsius. They offer slightly different coins, so depending on which coins you own, you might swing one way or the other to Celsius or Crypto.com, but they offer by far a greater number of kind of coins than BlockFi. The reason I gave them BlockFi 5 is that it still covers the core coins, so it still covers Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I consider probably the largest two coins, and it also offers 3 stable coins as well. So I would give 5 probably just for those, and then Celsius Network and Crypto.com, if you own different coins, they will be maybe more suitable for you. Oops, excuse me. In terms of the platforms, BlockFi available on both desktop and mobile, so it gets 10. Celsius Network and Crypto.com get a 7. They're only available on mobile. Now, for most people, that might not be a massive kind of difference, in which case you might adjust these kind of figures for yourself. Ease of use, I've given BlockFi 10, Celsius Network 9, and Crypto.com 8. Again, slightly subjective, but I just feel that BlockFi is slightly easier to use than Celsius Network and Crypto.com. Compound in Celsius is the best. It compounds automatically on a weekly basis. BlockFi compounds on a monthly basis. Crypto.com does not compound at all. I've only given that a 5. It's simple interest only. You can sort of make a pseudo compound in every kind of 3 months or whenever your loans are up, but it's not automatic, so that's why I scored that as a 5. Ecosystem requirements, 10 for BlockFi. You don't need to do anything. You get the best rates, or you can get the best rates without any kind of buy-in or additional work on your part. Celsius I gave 8, and Crypto.com 8, because you have to be paid out either in their own token or by their own token in order to get those kind of better rates. So I've marked those down a little bit for that. And then other features, Crypto.com 10 out of 10. It offers a huge number of features. Now, if they're not of interest to you, you might ignore this kind of row, just like any of the other ones. You know, ignore the ones that aren't important to you and maybe mark up the ones that are. Celsius I've given a 7, and BlockFi a 6. And then I've got a total here. So I've got a total of 67 for BlockFi, 66 for Celsius, and 64 for Crypto.com. I was quite surprised actually they came out so close to each other. And I suppose what it really shows is that one platform is not going to be ideal for kind of everybody. They all are catering maybe to slightly different markets, particularly with the additional functionality and stuff like that. So the platform that's best for you really will depend on your crypto situations, what coins you hold, how many coins you hold, how many you want to put into these platforms. So lastly, just to finish up, I've done 3 very simple scenarios of what I personally would do. Again, not financial advice, but this is what I would do if I was holding certain numbers of kind of crypto. So scenario 1, we have 1 Bitcoin or maybe 50 Ethereum, an equivalent amount of Ethereum. I would put it all in BlockFi. It's not, in the scheme of things, a huge amount. You have the simplicity of one account. It's easy to manage. You get the best interest rates without having to do anything else. And within this scenario, maybe we don't want to do anything. We just hold Bitcoin or Ethereum. We just want to put it somewhere and earn some interest. We don't want to be messing about on a weekly or monthly basis. So in that point of view, I'll put it all in BlockFi. Scenario 2, we have a lot of crypto and we want to put maybe 50 Bitcoin or an equivalent amount of Ethereum, 25,000 Ethereum, whatever it is, into these platforms. Now, with this scenario, I would say, spread your risk across different ones. If you have 50 Bitcoin and only 50 Bitcoin, I wouldn't advise for a moment putting it all in one of these kind of platforms. Similarly, if you had one Bitcoin, I wouldn't advise putting all of it in one of these platforms. But in this situation, I would spread my risk across the different platforms. I would probably put 20 into BlockFi. I'd put 10 into Celsius paid in sell and actually just trade that back to Bitcoin myself. And I'd probably put 20 in Crypto.com, but I would take the cost of 500 MCO tokens out of that 20. So I would buy those 500 tokens first of all to get those higher interest rates. So it would require a little bit more work. We'd be doing a little bit of trading within CEL. We'd be buying some additional kind of coins. So we'd be looking at some of these things. But basically, we're spreading the risk between the different kind of platforms fairly evenly. The reason I only put 10 into Celsius is that even if you're being paid out in Celsius token, you only get that maximum rate for the first Bitcoin. Above that, both Crypto.com and BlockFi would be paying better. That's why I've got less in Celsius. But it's good to spread your risk between the different platforms. So I hear my big thing is spreading risk whilst maximizing our profits. And in the third scenario, we've got a mix of altcoins. So in this situation, Celsius and or Crypto.com, depending on the coin. If we jump very briefly back to the interest rates, you can see here these are the different coins that are available. So for example, if we had Chainlink, if we were holding Link, we could only use Crypto.com. It would give us 4% on a 3-month loan without anything, 6% with our 500 stake. It's not available on any of the other platforms. If I was holding EOS, for example, I would be getting 4% for a 3-month loan on Crypto.com, and I would be getting 4.34. So I might use Celsius for EOS if I didn't have that much. With Stellar, we'd be getting a 2.53 paid out in the same coin, whereas with Crypto.com we would be getting 4%. So within this situation, if I was holding Stellar, I'd put it into Crypto.com. So depending on the coin you hold, will dictate largely which platform you'd put it in. Again, if you have a huge amount of crypto or a huge amount of these and they're available on more than one platform, I would personally spread the risk across multiple platforms if possible. Another thing to mention is, do you want any of the extra stuff? So you may accept a slightly lower rate on Crypto.com because you want to sign up for a debit card or because you want to use their exchange or something like that. But these are just three simple examples. Obviously, your mileage will vary according to what coins you hold, etc., etc. But apologies, this has been a slightly longer video than usual. Hopefully, I've gone into enough depth. I've been promising this video for a while, so apologies, it has taken me a little while to get it out. I actually did all the stats, all the figures for this about 3 weeks ago, and then I didn't do the video, and then everything kind of changed because the interest account, or the interest rates rather, if we jump back to here, these do change on a kind of weekly or monthly basis, so these can fluctuate up or down according to what's happening in the market. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. If you could give me a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, maybe consider, if you like this kind of content, and hit that little bell icon so you're notified for the videos. I do have links in the description to below to each of these platforms. Now, they are affiliate links, so if you actually used any of those, I would get a small commission or a small sign up bonus or something like that. Often they will match that and give you a little bonus for sign up through my link as well. A few people have actually signed up through my link, so thank you very much to anybody who's done that. It really does help me, not just kind of financially. I'm not making like loads from it or anything like that, but it's certainly kind of like a boost when you see that a couple of people have signed up maybe through one of your links. So that's very much appreciated. Thank you very much if you've done that. Again, this isn't financial advice. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know when I've done videos in the past, we've obviously got people following the channel who are really committed to one or two of the ecosystems. I think particularly Celsius, some people really seem to be keen on the Celsius kind of network, and then equally I've had some people with Crypto.com who love that ecosystem and maybe got the cards and stuff like that, who are really committed to that system. So I think it's important to say all of these platforms have their pros and cons. I'm not knocking or saying one is better than the other. Depending on your situation, one might be more suitable for you than any of the others. But anyway, hopefully this has been useful. Thanks very much again for watching, and have a great day. Bye bye.